Hey, No Nation, what's going on? It's CJ Wilson here with Dope Talk. Here to bring you some information. It's recruiting season, but not high school recruiting season. It's transfer portal recruiting season. As you guys know, the portal has been going crazy with people departing and entering the portal left and right from various numbers of teams. And of course, different type of schools trying to pick out of the transfer portal and things like that. It's been a hot commodity the last couple of years, and FSU has been a big time player in the transfer portal. But before we get started, On the Trail is brought to you by Realtor Jude Paul. Jude is a realtor in Southwest Florida, but services the entire state of Florida. Whether you're trying to buy your home or sell your home, Jude is your guy. If you're trying to buy your home or sell your home, Jude is willing to donate 20% of the closing costs back to you. So again, money back in your pocket if you go through Jude. And also, Jude is a big time FSU fan and knows like to help out knows. So again, if you're trying to buy your home or sell your home, Jude is willing to donate some of the proceeds to the Battles End Collective. So again, if you're trying to buy or sell, Jude is willing to donate some of those proceeds to the Battles End Collective. You can reach out to Jude at www.homeforknows.com. Again, like I said, FSU has been a heavy player within the transfer portal within the last recent years. If you guys haven't been aware or heard the news, defensive end Patrick Payton initially put out a tweet stating that he's going to enter the transfer portal. He has not entered the transfer portal as of yet. Excuse me, he hasn't entered the transfer portal as of yet, and has since deleted that tweet. But again, that hasn't stopped FSU from trying to fill needs in regards to bringing pass rushers and defensive linemen into Tallahassee from the transfer portal. They have offered numerous of guys in the transfer portal at the edge position. And it's not just in regards to Patrick Payton's recent actions in regards to flirting with the transfer portal, but also you do lose a lot of production in Jared Verse. So you want to bring in premium pass rushers and things like that to try to get to the quarterback. A couple of defensive ends that FSU have offered, and these guys have confirmed official visits with FSU. You got Samson. You can look at Ukinalea. Excuse me if I'm mispronouncing that wrong. I'm sorry, not Samson. Samuel Ukinalea, a defensive end out of Pittsburgh. He has 3 years left to play. 6'4", 245 pounds. Played a lot of football for the Pittsburgh Panthers. Was a starter for those guys. He had 5 sacks and 6 tackles for loss for the Pittsburgh Panthers. Long frame, athletic guy, can get after the quarterback, things like that. If you guys heard me say Samson first, if you got to forgive me, he is the brother of 5-star offensive tackle Samson Ukinalea that is not committed to, rather enrolled to the a part of the Miami Hurricanes team. Committed to Miami a couple of years ago, 5-star offensive tackle. So those guys are brothers. So that's the name to look out for. Once he entered the transfer portal, FSU was pretty active in that recruitment. There's a lot of other P5 teams that's interested as well, but an official visit has already been scheduled to FSU for Samuel. Cal Kennard, defensive end out of, it's crazy. We've been pretty active within the ACC. I guess we see these guys so much in conference play and watching film and things like that, and of course, playing against each other. But Cal Kennard, 6'5", 238-pound defensive end from Georgia Tech, is in the transfer portal. He had 6.5 sacks this past season, and 11.5 tackles for loss along with an interception. Has 2 years left to play. He is in the transfer portal and is a guy of interest for FSU. He did schedule an official visit to Florida State within the near future. So that's going to be a guy to look out as well. Productive for the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets. Nice frame, 6'5", 240-ish pounds. Can get after the quarterback. Lastly, from the defensive end position, you have DJ Obin from the Duke Blue Devils. He's a senior. He has one more year left to play. 6'4", 20 to 60 pounds. And 5 sacks and 6 tackles for loss for the Duke Blue Devils. Dynamic pass rusher, big body as well. Played in a similar system to FSU, as you guys know. Mike Elko, the former head coach for the Duke Blue Devils, currently the head coach for the Texas A&M Aggies. Him and Alan Fuller have similarities in regards to their defense. So again, kind of familiar with our defense due to being under the Mike Elko. And also, you guys seen the defenses the last couple of years. The Duke Blue Devils defense has been lights out under Mike Elko. So I think that'd be an interesting name as well to watch out for. RJ Obin, defensive end for the Duke Blue Devils. So they are active trying to bring in pass rushers and just defensive linemen in general. And speaking of, this guy hasn't scheduled an official visit or anything like that to FSU. I thought it was pretty interesting in regards to the communication and how things have picked up within FSU and him is Chris McKellen. Um, 6'3", 320-pound defensive tackle, former Florida Gator. He is a Gator that entered the transfer portal. He's from Oklahoma. He was a top 100 guy within that. I think it was a 2022 recruiting class, if I'm not mistaken. He was within Billy's first recruiting class once he was hired by the Florida Gators. Top 100 guy, 6'3", 320 pounds, has 2 years left to play. Big defensive tackle, big body, SEC type of defensive tackle. Um, Something that we need within that, defensive tackle room. As you guys know, we will be losing Braden Fisk and Fabian Levitt to the NFL draft if those guys have, exhausted their eligibility. So he said Mike Norvell offered him personally. So I thought that was pretty interesting. Mike Norvell went ahead and offered the defensive tackle from the Florida Gators personally. We'll see how that plays out if anything does matriculate from that. But since he entered the transfer portal, he has reported offers left and right for multiple Power 5 programs. We all know that the quarterback position has been a trending topic for FSU within the last couple of weeks, whether it's Jordan Travis getting injured or just the backup quarterbacks that have played within that time frame with Tate Rodemaker and Brock Glenn. I do expect FSU to be active in the transfer portal for a quarterback. Former FSU quarterback A.J. Duffy has entered the transfer has entered the transfer portal. So FSU has currently, now you do add Luke Cromarhawk this upcoming season, I guess, for the 2024 season. Hell, Luke is going to be on campus in the next couple of weeks, actually, and practicing for the Orange Bowl. So you have Tate at this time. You have Tate, Brock Glenn, and Luke, only 3 scholarship quarterbacks on the roster. So you need to add another. So 2 names of interest: Cam Ward, the Washington State quarterback, who's from Texas. He in the transfer portal. Of course, everyone wants the dynamic quarterback. He has offers left and right. And also DJ Ugalea, the former Clemson Tiger, former 5-star Clemson Tiger. He went to Oregon State within his last year to play football. So those 2 guys have entered the transfer portal and have been connected to FSU in some way or fashion. We'll see how it plays out within this next week or so. I do think some official visits will be announced pretty soon within those quarterbacks. So it's just something to keep an eye out on. Cam Ward is the number 1 quarterback within the transfer portal right now. I think he's going to make any team better. Just the type of numbers he put up at Washington State with those type of athletes and things like that, he would definitely flourish within one of these southern schools with dynamic playmakers at receiver. FSU is like I said, recruiting this guy pretty steadily. Communication is fluid. I know the Miami Hurricanes, Ohio State, and a few other teams are involved. We'll see how it plays out. And along with DJ, he's been linked with FSU and Mississippi State, among others. Again, we'll see how things play out within these 2 quarterbacks. I do expect Florida State to take 1 quarterback within the transfer portal rankings. We'll see how that plays out. But both Cam and DJ are, quarterbacks of interest, and FSU will be fine taking either one of those guys. But again, we'll see how things play out. Make sure you guys like this video and subscribe to the channel. Like this video and subscribe to the channel. I do think FSU will be very active in the transfer portal as we have been in years past. The more names that enter, we'll see how things play out, and we'll report the news. But I do think FSU will be, again, a heavy hitter within the transfer portal, bringing in some big-time playmakers to Tallahassee. Again, like this video and subscribe to the channel. We have more content like this coming pretty soon.